Human trafficking is a heinous and pervasive crime that involves the illegal trade and exploitation of people, often for purposes such as forced labor, sexual exploitation, or involuntary servitude. It is a global problem that affects millions of men, women, and children, making it a grave violation of human rights and a significant challenge for governments, law enforcement agencies, and international organizations. At its core, human trafficking is about the coercion and exploitation of vulnerable individuals. Traffickers use various means to recruit, transport, harbor, or receive victims. These means can include deception, threats, violence, abduction, or abuse of power. Traffickers prey on people facing dire economic circumstances, limited opportunities, or political instability, making them easy targets. One of the most common forms of human trafficking is forced labor. Victims are often lured with false promises of well-paying jobs, but upon arrival at their destination, they find themselves trapped in situations where they must work under exploitative conditions. These conditions may include excessively long hours, inadequate wages, and physical or psychological abuse. Industries such as agriculture, construction, manufacturing, domestic work, and the sex trade are particularly susceptible to forced labor exploitation. Sex trafficking is another alarming aspect of human trafficking. Victims, especially women and children, are coerced or forced into prostitution or other forms of sexual exploitation against their will. They are often subjected to physical and emotional abuse, as well as manipulation and threats that make escape seem impossible. Child trafficking is a particularly heart-wrenching aspect of this crime. Children are trafficked for various purposes, including child labor, forced begging, and sexual exploitation. They are especially vulnerable due to their young age and limited ability to protect themselves. Human trafficking is driven by several factors, including poverty, lack of education, political instability, and gender inequality. Additionally, demand for cheap labor and sexual services contributes to the persistence of this crime. Traffickers exploit these factors to their advantage. Efforts to combat human trafficking involve prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnerships. Prevention efforts aim to address root causes such as poverty and lack of education, making individuals less susceptible to trafficking. Protection measures involve providing support and assistance to victims, including shelter, medical care, and legal aid. Prosecution efforts focus on identifying and apprehending traffickers, bringing them to justice, and dismantling trafficking networks. Lastly, partnerships between governments, law enforcement agencies, non-governmental organizations, and international bodies are crucial for sharing information, coordinating efforts, and creating a united front against human trafficking. In conclusion, human trafficking is a grave violation of human rights that affects millions of people worldwide. It involves the illegal trade and exploitation of individuals, often for forced labor or sexual exploitation. Vulnerable individuals are coerced, deceived, or abducted by traffickers, and they face horrific conditions. Combating human trafficking requires a comprehensive approach that addresses root causes, provides support to victims, prosecutes traffickers, and fosters cooperation among various stakeholders. It is a complex and challenging issue that demands ongoing international attention and action to eradicate it and protect the rights and dignity of all individuals.